Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I decided to film outside today because at the moment my house and my room hasn't been bringing me a lot of peace, and I don't really want to bring that onto here, and I'm just in a really good mood, so I thought I would share it with you all. Just went for a dip, and I wanted to share with you 18 things that I learned in 2018 because this year has been the most transformational year for me in my entire life, and I say that every year, but this one fucking takes the cake. I've been to hell and I've come back from there, and it's just been like, it's been a roller coaster, and I've learned a lot, and I think it would be really beneficial for some of you guys to hear this and hopefully take some of this on board if you've been through similar situations as me. So the first thing that I learned in 2018 was, don't fall in love with potential. Attaching your ideas to people doesn't make them any better than they are. And this is something I learned when I was seeing a guy, and he was perfect on paper. He was vegan, he was quite spiritual, he was like an activist and really nice guy. And yeah, I kind of held on to that idea for a bit too long, and when he started to show characteristics that would normally really deter me, I actually kind of blinded myself from that and focused only on my projected illusions. So I kind of had these ideas about who he was going to be in my life, and I kind of attached him to that and didn't really see him for who he was. So yeah, that's something that I learned. The second thing that I learned was, I just wrote down, I learned the meaning of home. And so basically in 2018 I moved out of my parents' house and I moved into this beautiful little apartment in Mozzie Park with my friend, and it was just like, that place brought me so much joy that I've never really experienced before, and a new kind of joy, a safe kind of joy. I'd never really felt safe in my childhood home just because it held a lot of, I guess, bad memories for me. It held a lot of trauma and it held a lot of anxiety, and yeah, leaving there and finding this new place and settling into it made me learn the meaning of home and made me learn the meaning of safety and how to feel safe and how to feel at home, and that was really beautiful. Number 3. Don't allow the past and its shadows to rule your present if it is no longer serving you. And this is in regards to my ex. So basically what happened was, when the whole thing was well past its due date, I didn't feel... Okay, so to begin with, I basically ended things with him because I knew on some intuitive, subconscious, I don't know, level that it wasn't serving me energetically. It wasn't serving my growth, and the whole situation being with him, as lovely as it was, wasn't helping me grow into the person that I knew that I needed to become and the person that I needed to be. So yeah, I left him, and then it was kind of like an on again, off again thing for like a whole nother like year and a half. It was crazy, but it kind of got to a point where I didn't know who he was anymore, and he wasn't serving my life anymore, and the only reason I was with him is because I felt discomfort in being alone, because when I was alone I would have to face my issues, and I didn't want to face my issues. So yeah, don't allow the past to rule your present if it is no longer serving you. Number 4, sometimes holding on does more harm than letting go. This is the same kind of situation, and this is a lot of other things as well. Holding on to something and not allowing the natural flow of things to like occur can bring you a whole heap of pain, because there's so much attachment. You attach your happiness, you attach your strength, you attach everything to like this thing that you just can't let go of. And yeah, I went through that a lot, in a lot of different ways. It's kind of hard to describe on here, but I think the words are probably enough for you guys to get what I mean. I don't know, I'm rambling. Number 5, fear is created in your mind. So I spent a good 3 months in a constant state of fear and paranoia. It was almost like a form of psychosis, and it was just, yeah, I was just completely paranoid all the time, constantly, and there's a few flies around me. I was, yeah, completely paranoid all the time and completely never feeling safe, never feeling happy. I just thought every day that I was gonna die, kind of thing. And when I came out of that, my sleep paralysis turned into lucid dreaming, and a lot of the experiences that I experienced and a lot of my paranoia turned into intuition. And I realized that if you look at life through a state of love, your world will become love, and if you look at life through a state of fear, your world will become fear. And yeah, that fear is created in your own mind. Number 6, it's okay to change. It's okay to change. I feel like that is all you need to hear with that one. But yeah, it's, again, I was so kind of stagnant because I was forcing myself into fear and forcing myself to be attached to things that were no longer serving me. But you know what, it's okay to change. And for a long time I felt like I couldn't change, and I couldn't be this I don't know, more sad version of, not sad, this unhappy version of myself, particularly like in social media and stuff, because people everyone's staring at me. People valued me when I was happy, and people looked up to me when I was happy, and I helped people when I was happy, and there are so many greyhounds, and I didn't think that I would be able to help people and to be an inspiration to people if I was unhappy and if I had changed. And I felt like I had to be the same kind of like 70s op shopping naive 17-year-old that I was when I began all this stuff. I felt like I had to be that forever because that was what people liked, and I wanted to be liked. But I've realized that it's okay to change, and as you change, your world will change with you, and it'll change for good. And change is just, it's just good. It's just, let it happen. Let it all happen. If it's happening, let it happen. And following on from that, a lot of trust was learned as well. The sun's gone behind a little cloudy. Number 7, it's okay. Number 7, as long as you have yourself, you have everything. So for a long time this year, I didn't have myself, and I had nothing. I was very mentally ill at some points of this year. For a large portion of this year, actually, I struggled a lot with depression, anxiety, paranoia. It was just, yeah, it was just a constant state of just not really being okay, and I didn't have myself because I almost didn't let myself have myself. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but I lost myself in a tunnel of fear and in a tunnel of illness and mental disorientation. I completely lost myself, and it was really horrible. But when I picked myself up after a very long and hard period of dedicating all my time to bettering myself, when I picked myself up, I realized that as soon as you find a small slither of yourself, and there'll always be a small slither of yourself there, but when you find that small sliver of yourself and you actually amplify it, then you have everything. When you begin to be able to realize that you are the most important thing in your existence, and that you are a reflection of everything. And there's a lot of magic there, but yeah, as long as you have yourself, you have everything. And when I was like at my brokest points, like I literally had like 20 cents in my account, I had no job, all I had, and you guys probably think that like Instagrammers make billions and millions of dollars and whatever, blah blah blah. It ain't true. Well, it might be true for some people, but it's sure as hell ain't true in my case. And when I had what felt like nothing, when I didn't even have like a will to live, I had myself. And eventually when I amplified the fact that I had myself, and when I paid more attention to that, my outer world became better. And I'll elaborate on that later. 8. Nature time is essential. Particularly for me, nature time is absolutely essential. And I kind of realized that I really need to be taking that time out of my week, out of my day, to connect and to ground myself, because I don't have anything in my personality that allows me to feel grounded. I am literally just like and I think that being in nature and being able to experience the beach or a hike or best of all camping, and connecting, not just like witnessing, not just like, I don't know, there's a difference between like going for a scenic drive and like walking and touching and feeling and earthing. But yeah, I learned that nature time is so essential for my mental health in particular, and for me as a person. Like, yeah, it's just very much needed. Love you, Gaia, and I can feel you starting to beam out at me, the little sun. 9. It's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to ask for help. Very, very, very important. Again, with the whole social media thing, I didn't feel like I was allowed to be vulnerable for a while because I didn't think that anyone would like that version of me, and I've never been the person to ask for help. I've never been someone to admit to others when I'm suffering and to let people in, because I just have a very closed off heart. I used to, maybe I don't anymore. Yeah, it was my defense mechanism from like all my trauma and stuff, and yeah, I kind of closed myself off to asking people for help because I'm stubborn and I think I can do this on my own, like fuck you guys. But in reality, there are a lot of times where you should ask for help, and you need to ask for help, and it's okay, and you should not be ashamed of that. Number 10. The parts of yourself that are hardest to love are the ones that need love the most. Yeah. I might just leave it at that. The parts of yourself that are hardest to love are the ones that need love the most. Number 11. Gratitude should be the foundation of your existence. I've noticed that gratitude is a form of love, and it's probably one of the like purest and best forms of love. And when you actually decide to consciously live from a state of gratitude, rather than kind of just when you choose to consciously focus on gratitude and choose and try to live from a state of gratitude, your world like completely transforms, because you're so thankful for everything and you're joyous. Like, you're so joyous because everything that comes into your life is a blessing in some form. And there's this beautiful lyric by Sam the Great, and it goes, every aspect of life, all in all, is a blessing. And I really resonate with that because, you know, even through your darkest times, there's always lessons to learn there, and when you are living through a state of gratitude, you can finally kind of realize that. And for those of you who may be suffering at the moment, this probably won't resonate with you yet. Maybe when you pull yourself out of it, or if you ask for help, or if you slowly become better, you will look back and realize why it needed to happen. But yeah, when you live through from a state of gratitude, life is just simple, and life is just beautiful, and there's a lot to be there's a lot to be thankful for, and there's a lot to love about this life, and I'm gonna cry thinking about how grateful I am. So doing like daily gratitude lists and just sitting in that gratitude for a while, soaking in it, it's good for your soul. Yeah, definitely. Number 12, I think. Are we up to 11, 12? I think we're up to number 12. Live from the inside out and not the other way around. So don't live from the external inwards. And by that I mean, don't live for your surroundings, don't live for the people that are around you, and don't absorb too much of it. Because when you are living from the outside in, you're living in a state where you seek validation constantly, where you need people around you constantly, where your environment really affects you, and if there's like negativity around you, that will come out tenfold. But when you're living from the inside out, you are choosing to open up your heart and let a little of that light that's in you out. Give it to yourself, give it to others. Well, give it to yourself first of all, but then give it to others and give it to your environment. And then when you're living from the inside out, it's so easy to manifest a life you like and to manifest a state of mind that you like. And yeah, basically not let any of this bullshit and anything affect you, because life is so simple when you realize it. And yeah, just don't let bullshit in. Don't let people fuck with your energy, I think, is the big lesson there. Number 13. Oh, here we go. Following on from that. Be careful of the energy you let in particular in regards to social media and regards to the people. So, just after my depression, basically, I had a bit of a freak out, and I actually unfollowed everyone that I followed on social media. And I'm not saying that's something that everyone has to do, but it's something that I felt I needed to do, because I had been following these people for like years and they didn't serve me anymore. They weren't serving me a great purpose, and they weren't helping me, and they weren't making me feel good and valued. They weren't serving my growth, I guess. And that was my thing in regards to social media. Like, you don't realize how much it affects you until you cut it the fuck out. You may have toxic friends that need to be cut out, and in my case in particular, like, I don't open myself up to people very easily, and I don't even talk about like being with people romantically or sexually on my channel very much at all, because it doesn't happen very much at all. Like, I'm mostly celibate half the time. Like, I just don't fuck with most people that come into my life. But I did go through a period where I did fuck with a few people, and I let their energy in, and their energy were not the right ones to let in, and I should have realized that earlier, but now I'm thankful for it because I know it was a lesson. But yeah, you just got to be really mindful and be really careful, and yeah, not let your illusions reinvent someone. Number 14. I'm not going to edit this video at all, so there's going to be so many goofy bits in it. Number 14. When things don't work out, it's the world forming a new path for you. When you think things are falling to shit, it's not things falling to shit. It's okay. I like to describe it like this. You're on a road. You're on a road, and the quickest route has roadworks on it, and it's got a big detour sign, and you're like, fuck this, it's gonna take me another 2 hours to get to my destination, like yada yada yada. But that road is closed because a landslide just happened, and there is rubble and decay, and you would have just been stuck in that place for ages. So you go on this detour, and it's like a beautiful, it seems like shit at first when you reach the detour sign, and you're like, this is such a nuisance. But then you realize after you take the beautiful scenic route through the river, through the valley, through the mountains, that this was the route you needed to take, and the other route would have just caused you more harm and more pain. And yeah, nice little metaphor for that. But basically, like, when I was suffering and when a lot of things weren't going my way, I was like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Like, I am normally so loving and so kind and so generous with people, and, you know, normally an alright person to be around, I'd like to think. Hi, little puppy. Hi, do you want to come in? Hi. Oh, he's doing his shit. Detours. So yeah, when a path is blocked like that, there is a reason for it. You just gotta trust it. You might be going to see a scenic route, or you might be going to see a black dog taking a shit. There he goes. Okay, where am I up to? Number 15. Allow yourself to feel pain, and then you begin to heal. So yeah, I guess like the start of the whole healing process for me in particular started when I actually accepted that there was something to like work with. There was something to work on, and there was something that was pain that needed healing, because for a long time I just didn't let myself feel anything. Like, it wasn't just like I wasn't letting myself feel pain, I didn't even let myself feel happiness or anything really good like that. And I kind of realized that you can't bypass pain. And I went through a lot of dark nights of the souls, like spiritually kind of thing, because in my early spiritual journey, I tried to bypass that pain, and I tried to just be like, no, pain doesn't exist, like, I'm spiritual, it's great, it's fine. And I just pushed it down and pushed it down and pushed it down, and then that led to my paranoia, and then that led to my depression, and then that led to me like just like going in circles all the time. But when you actually allow yourself to feel pain, sit with your pain, welcome it, say, hey pain, I'm gonna feel you for a little while. It's so much easier to release that, transmute it, and then go on with the rest of your life, kind of thing. 16, I can make it through anything. I have iron strength and incredible resilience. That's all. Wow, I've been through some real shit in my life. And at the end of the day, I can make it through anything. I have the courage, I have the support system, and I have the self-love and belief that I can make it through anything. And I can make it through anything. Number 17, let love in. Not necessarily love of a romantic kind, but let love in. Don't allow yourself to be closed off to everything just because you fear one thing. Yeah, that's not just this year that I've learned that, that's every year, but I always go through cycles where like I glow and I shine and I'm happy and I'm letting all this love in and I'm letting all this love out, and then I go through periods where I'm like this and I'm like, oh my god, fuck everything, and then I'm like this again, and then I'm like this, and yeah, that happened a lot this year. But at the end of the day, you just gotta let love in and not try and deny it. And finally, the last lesson that I learned in 2018, gratitude, connection, and happiness are a choice. Sometimes it may be a really, really hard choice, and you might have to put a lot of effort into that choice, but it is always a choice. And I choose to let the love in. Yeah. I'm just, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just really fucking proud of myself. I can't believe that A, I'm alive after this year, and B, I'm actually feeling as good as I'm feeling, and I'm actually feeling as happy and as safe and as loved and as bright as I'm feeling, because there's so much shit that I went through, so much shit that I can't even begin to put on here, that I can't even begin to talk about. But I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, and you're here as well. (2019) try. No. 2019, I'm going to dedicate myself to my own personal growth. I'm going to listen to my intuition instead of ignoring it. I'm going to explore the things that make me happiest, instead of dwelling on the shit that I don't need to keep revisiting. Because at the end of the day, I've released it, and I'm still releasing it, and I've transmuted it, and I'm so proud of myself. I love you all. I love you especially if you've made it this far. I will see you all later. Bye.